What's up? What's up? What's up? This is Rebel Ray, your hostess with the mostest, and let me tell you, we're here and we're grateful today. I am here by myself in Huddle Live, recording live and coming to you live, and I just want to tell you that with the most utmost gratefulness, I am here. We're still in the land of the living, and most of our loved ones have not made it. And so we're very grateful. We take the opportunity to always maintain space, also maintain space to and for those loved ones who are no longer here with us. And so just getting back in from the podcast to the podcast and being with community as we lost one of our young babies in the community, and it's always hard. So, as a mental health clinician and as an advocate and a community supporter, at times it is heavy. It's heavy during these times as well, when people want to celebrate. Father's Day is coming up, and sometimes it's not always happy for each father. And Juneteenth is here, and we are always excited to celebrate with our LGBTQ family and community members. Um, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here today. I'm also reflecting on the many times that sometimes we're called to action to use our skills and our ability to love on community members and support our family. And I just want to talk about self care today. But before we get in there, I want to uplift our fathers, especially those fathers that have worked hard. They may not always get the thank yous that are afforded to them. And I think it's also important to take time to acknowledge when they're overwhelmed and when they're feeling stressed, making sure that we're taking the time to always hold space for them and uplift them, because they hold the family down. And if you have never been able to support or be supported by your father, a father is really someone who's in space that takes on that role. It could be a coach, it could be a mentor. And so we have beautiful people around us that take up those opportunities to support many people, many children. So I'm going to jump right into our church lady community announcements. So, as you know, Father's Day is coming around the corner this Sunday. And if you have those special plans available for your father to join you, kudos to you. Most people are really taking efforts and making sure that their father really is supported. And but we wanted to really come around to our community members this Friday. And that's Friday, the 14th. We'll be at Community Taft Center, at the Taft Community Center in Mosdale, right here in Stockton, California. And it's located off of Downey Drive. And so we're going to be celebrating our fathers, and with the theme, Our Voices Matter. And we would like for you to join us at 389 Downey Avenue, Stockton, California. And that's 95206 zip code. Is right off the other side of Western Ranch. And we'll be starting a baby shower. This again is our second series that we're going to be hosting of our community baby showers, that we're going to be showering the community, but also connecting them to resources and connectedness, and also supporting what their health plan benefits have in store. And so this lovely event is brought to you in partnership by the Black Birth Equity Initiative, a Reinvent South Stockton Coalition, and is sponsored by Health Plan of San Joaquin. And so that's going to be from 3:30 to 7 p.m. We're going to be dealing with a lot of our participants and CBOs being out there. And for you that don't know what CBOs mean, it's just our community-based organizations. And I'm listening to a lot of our fathers, and they're saying that, where are the resources? A lot of times the resources are centered around our mothers and, our ability to connect to moms. But we often sometimes leave those fathers out. And it's a real situation when it comes to the family unit. So we want you to know that you can become a community health worker as well. You can do this work. You don't have to be someone who just wants to work in perinatal equity, but you can also work in housing navigating. You can also be a support for individuals who are formerly incarcerated, and our brothers and sisters that are coming out of the prison system also need to be connected to services. And so we'll be hosting a live podcast. So the Prune Tree will be there shooting live. We're going to be interviewing fathers. We're going to be interviewing other service providers. And we're going to be talking about those courageous conversations and experiences that our fathers witness, especially when it comes to perinatal equity. And so I want to also just lift up our partners, Dignity Health, Huddle, our San Joaquin Public Health Services, the Justice League of San Joaquin, the People's Empowerment Center, our Perinatal Equity Health Initiative, Black Infant Health, Black Women for Wellness, and Flourishing Families. We have all partnered together and committed to also revitalizing the commitment to Black mothers and their babies. And I have said this oftentimes on the podcast that we are passing away 4 times more than our counterparts. Our babies are not living 4 times more than what they are dying, and it's very hard for me sometimes to speak about those things because it is alarming, the rates that we're seeing. But we're going to be celebrating, and the information can be found on Reinvent South Stockton's Facebook and Instagram pages. Please, please, please sign up. We'll have so many amazing prizes. We'll have door prizes, raffle prizes. We'll also have a grand prize of a professional photo shoot for 12 families, whether your family looks like mom or mom and mom or dad. We will be there for you, and that will be available to you. You'll be featured in our 2025 Black Birth Equity Initiative calendar. And then, so we're super excited about that. And so to come out and hear our strategic plan on decreasing these infant mortality rates. We also have Juneteenth coming up in the city of Stockton. And as you know, many are so excited about our ability to come together. For a lot of you, and I have my Juneteenth swag on, I love my buttons. Our Juneteenth is about the emancipation of Black people in the United States. And that actually came to us in 1865, and it was widely spread of the news. And we were actually given the opportunity to be freed from our captors and those that enslaved Africans here on this continent. And a lot of times that history is not told. A lot of people don't believe that enslavement was at that level, but it was. And a lot of times we don't talk about what colonization has done, even many generations, how it's been very, very hard to look back and also understand the effects of slavery and Jim Crow, and the ability to overcome some of those long-term effects and barriers that we still see. We still see that in the disparities, and also in a lot of the outcomes that we see in people of color when they have been colonized, and they've been separated from their families. And so we always remember our ancestors. We remember what they gave. We remember um, how they felt and how they were moved to also find empowerment. So that will be here June 14th and June 15th. June 14th will be 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., a youth 3-on-3 basketball tournament after party at Van Busker. And from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. is Ultra Teen Nights at Van Busker for 12 to 18-year-olds. And so you can register and sign up at www.stocktonjuneteenth.org. And also, the main event will be June 15th. It will be at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. They're going to be having a youth mental health forum. This is always important to kind of listen to our youth, not just kind of, but open up our ears and listen to our youth. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., they'll be having an HBC tour, and other college and trade vendors will be there. You can also learn about Black Honors College and other Stockton College high school programs. So Balloons Over Bullets, and shout out to Brittany Vildane and also my boy, where they have started this movement and been going strong to prevent violence in our communities. And so they're going to be doing an awesome water balloon fight from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now, listen, we all know that we had a wonderful time at our PTSD awareness hike that happened last week, June 9th, with Shaw for Community. And they have been going strong. And so, Shaw for Community is also supporting a men's mental health awareness hike. Again, this is Men's Health Awareness Month, and a lot of people may not know that. But 209 Hikes will be taking out all of our men to Knights Ferry on June 30th. And listen, having mental health within our men and having the emotional insecurity or the support that may not be there really impedes our men's development, our emotional sustainability, and our connectedness to our men. So we have to have these safe spaces with our men, right? And so we don't want our men to suffer in silence. So it's about stopping the stigma. It's about talking about what matters most to our men and having an active listening ear that's trauma informed and that we handle our men with care. And so, our men also face many challenges. So if we're going to be breaking the stigma, it affects our physical health. There's preventive care that men are less likely to visit doctors. They're less likely to be supported by clinicians and diagnose. So we want to always encourage our fathers to speak up and know that we can hold them in good space. Also, I'd like to invite you, my friends over at Center Stage proudly presents a summer session for Grown Folks Jam. And that's going to be Sunday, June 23rd, 2024, from 7 p.m. to midnight. So if you're wanting to get away and come out to some grown folks mingling, getting together, and dancing, and you know how we get down, live music, food, and drinks, you can visit Center Stage at 2210 Country Club, Stockton, California. And so I want to take the time to let everyone know how much you mean to me. During these announcements, I don't just do these announcements, but we do these announcements to spread awareness, resources. Right now, we have a media desert. It's a lot of media attention goes towards a lot of negativity at times, but we also need to spread positivity. And so, shout out to Brown Sugar Yoga. Brown Sugar Yoga is for everybody. And our plus size yogi, Miss Vina Ford, leads this class for beginners. And so you can join Miss Vina June 15th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. As well to support your yoga needs. That will be held at the Fit Me Gym located at 445 West Weber Avenue, Suite 131. And let them know that Rebel Ray sent you. I want to give you a shout out as well. And also, y'all give yourselves a pat on the back. It's been hot out here. And the old church folks used to say, I don't want to go to hell. Well, if there is a hell, and if you believe you may go there one day if you don't get your act right, just feel this heat. This California heat is real, y'all. I remember standing in space and thinking, now I know this is not sweat running down my leg. The heat and I can't remember a time where the heat got to me. So the summertime has definitely heated up. You can call it global warming if you believe in that. But the tree canopy here in Stockton, California is a true issue, where some of the shadiest spaces that we used to have with our tree canopy do not exist anymore. And I don't know if many of my viewers or listeners really know that. But we do have a tree maintenance problem here in Stockton, California, and they have been cutting down some of the most oldest trees to maintain the overgrowth. And so until we find another solution, find your cooling centers, find a space to keep water inside of your bodies and stay cool. Let's check on our seniors and make sure you check on our elderly, that they're getting hydrated, and also our most vulnerable and disabled family members out there. And so shout out to the family members that will be in the park. Y'all keep that water along with anything else that you're drinking, and make sure we just take care of ourselves. But getting back to our fathers, right here, I always, like I say, decorate. I'm such a tiny desk girl. You know what I mean? The vibe and the swag at Tiny Desk really brings. I hope to have that one day on my podcast. But I always build some type of tribute to my ancestors, and my ancestors always have carried me, their belief systems, their stories, and we gotta talk about them. So I got a picture of my grandfather and my great grandfather here, and they have an amazing story of resiliency and strength, coming from Commerce, Georgia, and coming directly from the plantation, and my family being partly Seminole and also African. I have a tribute for them. And I remember the stories that my aunts and my mother would tell me about my grandfather. And I want to give a shout out also to my paternal grandfather, grandfather Robert. We call him Paw Paw. He's all the way in Oklahoma. I believe he's 96 this year. I may be a couple of years off, but he's still trying to ride his bicycle, and he is sharp as a tack. I'm sending my love on Father's Day, and also to my beloved father, Reginald Thompson. I love you. I support you. And I thank you for all the wisdom I thank you for the skills you gave me even as a young child. And I was really my daddy's girl, really a force to be reckoned with. Every boyfriend would tell you. And some of those skills and some of the knowledge that was passed down from my father, we talked about on the podcast, the live podcast. And I had a blessing to have my father with me at the last live podcast at our baby shower. And he reflected on sacrifice. And at times when it was hard to, even as he recalls, to keep the lights on. And I remember that. It was a struggle at times, but he went out and he did any type of work that he needed to do to support his family. And I love that. Um, that's one thing that I can always admire is a hardworking man. And a lot of times we put a lot on our family members and a lot on our fathers. Again, holding space for our fathers. There's a lot going on in the world. It's a lot of loss and a lot of uncertainty. Be patient and be empathetic to that. And as a healer, I'm always practicing on how to be my best self, how to show up as my best emotional self, and giving time to those that give time and having those boundaries so those don't drain you. And I remember those lessons from my father. Um, I think my father was probably the first one to really understand even how my creativeness attribute to a lot of my intellect, and really encourage each and every one of his children to pick up a instrument. And my instrument was the saxophone. And so I played the saxophone for 20 years, and I remember him instilling that. I remember him instilling leadership and connecting us to other leaders in the community, and how that now has shaped my life as a leader and having that grounding. And so fathers do so many things to support us in the family unit. And I reflect on his hard work ethics and his ability to show up for the community as well. And so that could be hard, having to share your dad with other people, or, also being a leader, right? But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the lessons. It's shaped me. And most people can't really talk about that. It's important to uplift our fathers in a way that we give space to them always. So I just want to tell you that I'm sending the best of love. I know things have been hard. I know things seem at times overwhelming for people. I want you all to be gentle with yourself. Know that you're not alone. And I know that at times can feel ambiguous, right? Because you could be in a space with many people and not feel seen. But there is a heaviness that is going on in the world. We have an ongoing war that's happening. So we're praying for those families in Palestine and Israel. We're also praying for support and peace in our streets here in the city of Stockton, and hoping and praying and advocating that the violence decrease. Um, Parents, we see you, we support you. Reach out for services. There are services, there are resources for you. You don't have to struggle with suicide ideation, or also feeling overwhelmed at the fact of even inflation, housing prices, and other things that you're trying to figure out. And I always give my thoughts to the millennials and Gen X, because it seems like we can't get a break with the many things that we've experienced in these last couple of decades. It seems like one thing after another. But when you practice your gratefulness, remember your grounding, remember your ability to breathe and trust spirit. Trust spirit that leads you. Trust your ancestors that gave so much for you to be in this moment in time. Trust what's inside your DNA as brown and black people and people of color. We know that greatness lives in us. We will be resilient. We will overcome. And you have to keep telling yourselves that. So when those days are dark, lean in, pray, believe, breathe, breathe, drink your water, right? Drink your water. That water revitalizes the soul, the body. It helps us digest and keep your stress levels down. I want to also make you all aware that um, even the level of stress at times can feel unmatched, and you're not alone in that. Sometimes when you feel trouble on all sides, all you can do is stand and take one day at a time. I want to let you know that I'm coming to you live from Stockton, California, my hometown. I'm sending prayers, I'm sending blessings, I'm sending strength your way on today. Join me every night at 7 p.m. I'm sorry, not every night, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I am glad to be here in the land of the living to fight for our freedom of our people and to lead like never before. Join us, follow us on our websites, the People's Empowerment Center, and also our social medias and Reinvent South Stockton Coalition. We're doing wonderful things in South Stockton as well as within our greater community. I love you. This is Rebel Ray. Peace. I'm out.